All right. Hey, welcome to Coach's Call with Dustin Holly, live from the Imprints One studio. We're coming to you live today with episode 2, and we got a great group of guests for you today. Our first quarter is brought to you by Lavelle and Aaron Dillard. Many of us have nutritional gaps no matter how well we eat or live. We simply aren't always able to give the body everything it needs from a nutritional standpoint. That's why Thrive was formulated to supplement your diet and lifestyle with just 3 simple steps. Feed your body over 100 premium grade vitamins, minerals, probiotics, proteins, antioxidants, and more with Thrive. And that's contact Lavelle brand promoter Aaron Dillard at 940-247-0509. And we appreciate Lavelle for sponsoring us. Today in our first quarter, we have Adam Jackson. He is the Hirschi boys soccer coach. Coach Jackson, how are you today?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Man, doing great. Thanks for joining me on what is the last week of school at home with WFISD. So we're counting down those days till Friday. Tell me a little bit about your school at home routine. What do you teach and how do you go about your day?
So this year I was teaching U.S. history, psychology, sociology, and then of course soccer and tennis. So between those 5 different areas, I've been spread a little bit thin. But as you know, Tuesdays, Thursdays, we have video calls with the kids. Mondays, Fridays, we contact with our homeroom. And then Wednesdays, we have a lot of staff meetings, a lot of athletics meetings. And with my homeroom having a lot of juniors and seniors in there, there's been a lot of continual conversation about getting things turned in, what graduation is going to look like, what equipment turn-in is going to look like. So I kind of have a broad spectrum of kids that I teach and have been helping out for this at-home learning situation.
Awesome. Now, you took over for Coach Calise when he slid into administration a little bit later in November. Tell us when you took over. I know practice has already started. How was that transition, and what was it like kind of getting your boys ready for the season?
So the transition was kind of unexpected, at least for the kids. I'd known for a little while that Caliste had been looking into getting into the administration type position. He's been coaching and teaching for a number of years, so he's kind of wanting to transition, but we didn't know if it was going to be something happening this year, if it was going to be something that happened at Hirschi. So when it eventually went through, it was definitely surprising to the kids because they had already built up relationships with him. Some of the kids who are seniors and juniors and have been with him for a number of years. Coach Calise is a real likable guy, has fun. And so the kids really saw Calise as a mentor and as a friend and as a good coach because they had a lot of success. So seeing someone else come in, they were apprehensive at first for sure. They didn't know what practices were going to be like. They didn't know if we were going to be as successful. So there's definitely a curve to try to gain the trust and respect of the team. So I just came in there and I was honest with them. I told them, hey, I'm not Coach Caliste. I'm not going to pretend to be him. I'm going to be who I am. We're going to have fun in the times where it's time to have fun, but we're going to work hard. We're going to put conditioning and tactics and training at the forefront of importance for us. And, I didn't want to go in there and say, hey, what are the things that Caliste is doing? And let me try to kind of pretend to be him, because I knew that wasn't something that the kids were going to really appreciate or respect as much. So I just went in there and tried to say, hey, I've been here before. I'm probably the closest coach to your age that you've had in a long time. So I know what it's like playing high school. I know what it's like playing college. And I think that having that perspective, graduating from Hirschi, I just tried to relate to them. And then once the wins started piling up a little bit, I think they finally understood, hey, this program that we're trying to implement is something that will help us out in the long term as well as the short term.
Yeah. Now you started with the Burke tournament, and then we slid to the Snyder tournament, and you won both, and you were starting to pile up wins quick just in those 2 weekends. Tell me about kind of what you saw in those 2 weekends. Were there any? You're super new to it, But any surprises you had seen since you first started, and kind of what did you think your strengths were as we were kind of building for a district run?
So before even that, and you can probably touch on this, we played you all in a scrimmage, and there's been years, when it's been 8-1, 11-1, 10-1. The goals have often been pretty one-sided. And, even though our game against you all was 3-1 to you all, it gave us a lot of confidence to know that, hey, we can hold the ball, we can possess the ball, and we can get positive results, even though they're not necessarily equating in wins. So I think even our preseason games against bigger and better schools like you all gave us a lot of confidence going into those tournaments. So when we went into the Burke tournament, it's a tournament that we've been doing for years. It's a tournament we've been in for, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years at least. And so we knew that we matched up well with Burke Burnett. We've been in district with them for years and always do pretty well against them, knowing that they're our rivals and we have an intensity. Mineral Wells, that we played in that tournament, we knew was a respectable team, a good team. And that tournament really went well because it came down to the final game, knowing that we needed to beat Burke Burnett by 2 goals to win it. And I just told them, we're going into this knowing that we need to beat our rivals. And if we win this game by at least 2 goals, we're going to set ourselves up well for district. They'll know that, hey, we're a tough opponent. We get to beat our rivals at their place in order to win this tournament. So if that's not motivation enough for you, then no speech is going to make your minds up if we're going to go out and take care of business. So it was nice to get that win. And then going into the Snyder tournament, it was kind of, we play 3 games and then 2 teams progress out of the pool and then you play a couple games. So our pool play went well. We won the first couple of games and then we played Cooper, and we had actually lost 1-0 to Cooper, and it wasn't a very good game. We didn't play well. We kind of, after we had won a number of games, you know how the kids sometimes get, they get a little big-headed, a little cocky, think that, everything's so simple. So in a game that was a little bit more difficult, we just didn't kind of have that resolve that we needed. So it was nice because then later in the finals of that tournament, we got to play that same team that we had just lost to in pool play. And then we actually beat them in the finals of the tournament to win that. So I think that our team this year was a team that really understood the big moments and were able to step up in those big moments, going out and beating that team when we needed to in the finals, beating Burke in the finals, winning district in the last game of the season. So there was definitely bumps, but I think when the team recognized, hey, this is an important must-win game, they really responded to that.
Yeah, and then looking at your district, I know just in this area, I know 4A soccer is growing, but around here, it's a small district, 3 teams. Sometimes to me, it makes it harder because you're seeing those teams every week and they learn each other and you know what you did wrong and you come back and Graham, like I said, they're growing. That's a tough place to go down and play. Tell me a little about your district and just you're playing each other so much. What are you trying to do game to game? I mean, I'm sure it's hard to put in a new wrinkle when you just see them the week before.
Right. Us, Burke, Graham, that's it. Play each other 3 times a piece. And this season, just because of the way that tournaments fell and the draws fell, we had already played Burke Burnett twice before we ever even got into district. So playing a team 5 times, there's no surprises. No matter if you reposition, move this kid from the wing to the middle, move this kid from center back to wherever, you can't really surprise a team. They know what we are and we know what they are. So just sticking to the game plan, knowing that if we play our way instead of playing a way that they dictate for us, I think made us successful. And then Graham, like you said, it's a difficult place to play because they really have a great home crowd. It's unlike, Wishaw Falls say, hey, we're Rider fans, we're Hirschi fans, we're Old High fans. Their whole town comes out and supports them. They fill the bleachers and they are really rowdy. So going to their place and losing against them, I think kind of, I don't want to be one of those coaches that says losing is a good thing, because I never want to lose.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're that same way. You learn lessons from losing, but I'd rather just learn the lessons from winning. But losing at their place, I think, gave us extra motivation to come home and take care of business at our home field. And we just knew each other so well. Which kids are good on the ball, which kids are fast. And it kind of helps as a coach seeing the kids in that team so many times, because then I know exactly what their kids' tendencies are. You play one game against a team, you can watch as much film as you want, but you don't really know the tendencies that well. So because we knew them so well, I was able to adjust and move positioning and say, hey, I want you to be more attacking. I want you to be more defensive minded. Hey, I want you to spread the field more, just because I knew kind of what those other teams were going to try to do and what those players are like. So to me, whenever you play the team that many times, that's whenever coaching kind of is able to make a little bit more of a difference, and tactics are able to make a little bit more of a difference, just because you need that, because they know who you are.
Yeah, no, y'all, to me, looking at y'all's districts, it's kind of like a playoff series where it's like a 7-game series where you're playing each other so many times, and it's game to game, you're changing. So that's good. 14-4-2. Awesome record. 3 championships this year. Looking into the playoffs, did y'all know who y'all were playing yet, or kind of know the route? I know stuff was we still had a game left in our district, and then the district we were playing into still had 2 games left. So it was very up in the air. What did you see playoff route wise, and did you know who your first round was?
So we actually, because 4A is a little bit different than 5A, we actually were getting a bye in the first round. So we would have had a bye first round, and then we would have played the winner of Diamond Hill Jarvis, which is in the Dallas area, and Argyle. So both good schools, both deep districts. Argyle was in a district with Decatur and with Bridgeport, and then Diamond Hill Jarvis was in a district that was like 8 teams deep. So either team we would have came in contact with would have been a good game. We've played Argyle over the years a few times. We played Diamond Hill Jarvis a few times, but not in recent years. But whomever we drew the second round, I really think that we could have matched up well against and had a fair fight against them, and it wouldn't be one-sided either way. I think that no matter who we came in contact with, whether it was Argyle or Diamond Hill Jarvis, it would have been a good game.
Yeah. Now, what I hate for us, like I said, I know we got to be safe and all that, but all 6 teams, I guess, in our town were playing well at the right time. I got to sneak out and see y'all play a couple times, and y'all were fun to watch. Y'all were attacking. Those kids up top were going. I really thought one of the 6, or even 2 or 3 of the 6, could probably get to the regional tournament. I just kind of hate that for our kids and all that, because it was fun. It's fun when especially like your girls win in district, y'all win in district. Old I were playing well. We were starting to play well. It's fun when all 6 were doing well. And I was excited to see what all 6 could do. Now we're looking, I guess everything kind of changed for us. Off season for soccer right now. I know you're trying to build on this. What's off season looking for you right now? Are you kind of letting them rest? I know we don't play again for so long, and we'll get them back in August, but are y'all meeting on Zoom or anything, or what are y'all doing right now kind of for the off season?
Yeah. Like, it's difficult to put anything down concretely, because you come in the next week and what you've been planning for 3-4 days for a week is just said, nope, can't do that. So we've been meeting with them over video calls like this. The last one we had, we were able to say, hey, these were the people who got district honors, district awards. So it was nice to come together and be able to celebrate that together, kind of talk about and be encouraged about the season we had. I talked a little bit about next season, because we have a new district next season with Bridgeport and Decatur and Gainesville in there. So being able to discuss how next season will be different, we were able to talk about that. And then just talking about, hey, what are some things that some of y'all are doing to stay active? We can post as much as we want. Hey, these are some workouts that we think you should do, but in reality, it's not always going to be what they are doing. So kind of hearing the feedback of the kids that are being active, I think will encourage the other kids, because at the end of the day, they're all competitive with each other.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to say, hey, this person just ran all this, ran 2 miles and made this time. This kid just did this circuit workout. I can do better than that. So them being competitive within each other is probably a better motivation than us saying, hey, this is what we think that you should do. So we've been trying to allow them to drive their own ship with us giving a few parameters. Over the summer, I don't know what it's going to look like. I know that our kids play a lot on their own.
Yeah.
I know the nice thing is a lot of these kids in town know each other, right? All our kids know your kids, knows old high kids. So they're able to stay pretty active together. So I just don't know what the summer's going to look like. But as soon as we kind of get some more information from UIL and the people at the top of the ladder, I think we'll be able to make some more decisions. But we've definitely been keeping in contact with them, and just having the relationship with them and allowing them to come together and talk to each other, I think is something that they've all been kind of looking for. So being able to provide that, I think, is even more important than hey, these are the 10 workouts I need you to do for the week.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm excited for your kids and you getting a whole year. Once we get to August, getting that whole year for you of an off season, because I love checking it. Obviously, when I get on the bus, we're checking what Old High did, and then we're checking with Coach Cooper on what y'all did. So it makes it fun, I guess, when all three are playing well. So I'm looking forward to y'all building on this. Like I said, even when you played us in that scrimmage, it's so early. But man, you could see it early that y'all were going to have a good year. Just little stuff that you were talking about. And I was talking to Cooper after the game, but I was excited for y'all as we look forward. And it ended up being in a 14-win season and 3 big championships. And I wish, like I said, wish we kind of had that playoff to see what we were made of there. So I'm excited for you. All right, before I let you go, we got a 10-question shootout. So I'll give you 10 questions. We got some pop culture stuff, some food, and some soccer stuff. And we'll go from there. So I'll ask it, you answer. We'll go first question. It's kind of been the same. What's the best to-go meal you've had since this kind of shelter-in-place type stuff?
Probably rib crib. My wife and I, we have a house, but we haven't invested in a smoker or a grill. So getting some of that to go is pretty nice.
Awesome. TV game show you could be on. What would you pick?
Oh, Survivor. Oh, Survivor. Yeah, for sure. Oh. Yeah. A little physical, a little mental, and it's a nice combo of all of it.
Yeah. Favorite game this year?
For us, Hirschi soccer?
Yes.
Beating Graham in district to win district. We went to a shootout. We won it in a shootout at our own home field and won district, got the first round bye. Just the combination of all that together just, made it.
Awesome. Favorite vacation spot you've been to or want to go to?
Oh, favorite I've been to. A honeymoon cruise was nice. Different locations, going to different places out of the country. Felt like a real adult going out of country on your own. So honeymoon cruise, I'd say.
Awesome. What is the live sporting event you'd love to go to?
Oh man, I think a Champions League game would be awesome.
Yeah.
Champions League final would be sweet. Or any finals, really, NBA finals, the Super Bowl. But for me, it'd be Champions League, just because, being a soccer guy, seeing all the top players in Europe playing all in one place just would be amazing.
Yeah. Name a sport you would like to coach, one you have not coached before. If Coach Wiley came to you tomorrow and said, you got to pick one to coach, what are you going to coach?
If Texas UIL ever got around to men's volleyball, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be crazy action. High jumping, hard hitting. I think that'd be really cool. Obviously, we don't have that, but since this is a make believe question, I think my make believe answer is all right.
Favorite sports movie?
uh, I really like Miracle. True story, American spirit. Miracle's awesome.
Now we go through this a lot at Memorial Stadium. Are you a win the first half or second half type of guy?
Oh man,
a lot of variables to it, but
well, I feel like if you're a win the second half guy, then you're also probably unlucky and it switches to get the other team both halves in a row. But probably the first half, just because playing from behind, no matter if you have the wind or not, is tough. I just think it's easier to play from ahead. So I'd probably be a win the first half guy.
Okay. What is your favorite team to follow? Professional, college? Give me one team you follow a lot.
Oh, the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah. A lot of NBA fans like this player and that player. I'm a homer. If this team is closest to me, they're my team. So I've watched the Dallas Mavericks almost every game for the past however many years.
Kind of in your opinion, do you think we see NBA this year? I mean, you think it's going to come back?
The hardest thing, I think, is I don't think that playing games without fans is highly feasible, just because of the aspect of home field advantage, right? What type of home field advantage, home court advantage do you have if you have no one in the stands to cheer you on and give you energy for a run? So I think there might be some sort of tournament, some sort of all-inclusive tournament that might be an asterisk on the on the record books, but in the facet of how it normally is, probably not.
Like I said, I know stuff changes day to day. I know they put out plans and all that, but stuff seems to change every day. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. I would love to see it. I mean, I would watch it if it had no fans, but I don't know, just getting all those many guys together and trying to keep them safe. And I guess the next couple of weeks, I think maybe even month will kind of tell us what the summer does. And then finally, what is your favorite game as a player? One of the when you look back play, and what was one of your favorites?
Oh, man. So I was a part of the first Hirschi team to ever make playoffs. As you know, back in the day, we used to be in a district with Ryder, with Old High, with all these bigger schools because there wasn't a 4A soccer. So we got lumped in together. So being a part of a team that went to the playoffs whenever, it was highly adverse. We had a lot of teams that were just better than us. I can't remember one specific game in particular, but that season and being a part of that history, to me, really sticks out for me. I mean, going back to the school that I graduated from just is surreal, and it's an honor, and it's really an awesome situation to be in.
Awesome. Well, that's good. Well, hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time today. I know we're all busy trying to wrap stuff up, but it was good to have you on, talk a little Hirschi soccer. And we'd love to have you on kind of during the summer when school talks gets back going, so we can see what the Huskies are doing, getting ready for 2021. That seems so far away, but it will be here quick. So, yes, sir. So thank you so much, and hope to talk to you again soon.
All righty. You have a good one.
All right. And that was our Lavelle first quarter. Make sure you catch us here in a little bit for our second quarter. Thanks a lot. I'm Dustin Holly with Coach's Call.